Hello everyone, and today we're going to work on a shawl. It is a shell stitch with a shell stitch border, and it is worked from the bottom up. I can't show the whole thing here because there's not enough space here. It's worked from the bottom up. And for this particular shawl, I used Mandala tweed stripes. It's from Lion Brand. There is 426 yards in a skein, and I used about 1.5 skeins for this. It says 5.5 millimeter hook, but I used a 6 because I crochet tight and I didn't want it super tight. And this colorway is called Cat's Eye. So it is pretty much all chain stitch, double crochet, and single crochet. So when you do a shawl that is worked from the bottom up, it tends to get wider faster than it gets long. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, if you like the way, what's her name? Claire in Outlander wears her shawls, where she wraps them around the front, brings them to the back, crisscrosses it in the front and brings it to the back, or tucks it into a belt. Doing from the bottom up is a perfect way to do that because it gives you enough width to be able to wrap it around and bring it to the back. So on that note, let's get started. And I'm going to do this example using what I have left over from the mandala tweed, if I can find the end. Okay, so you're going to start off with a slip knot. And chaining 4 or 5, whichever you're comfortable with. Okay, and join it with a slip knot. And then you're going to chain 3. This counts as a double crochet. And put 4 more double crochets in the center of the circle you made with your chain. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then you're going to chain 7, and it'll count as 3 of them count as a double crochet, and 4 of them count as a chain 4. You're going to come over, turn your work, and come over to your middle double crochet, and you're going to place a single crochet. And then chain 4. And do a double crochet in the top of the chain 3. on your starting row. Oops. It should look like this. Okay, now chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and put 4 more double crochets right here in that first stitch that your chain up is coming from. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it gives you a total of 5 double crochets, the chain 3 and the 4 doubles. And you're going to chain, excuse me, no you're not. You're going to bring this down and make a single crochet into that chain 4 space. Then you chain 4, skip over this and come over to this chain 4 space and do a single crochet. And straight from there, you're going to go into the 1, 2, 3, the third one, third chain from the bottom, and put 5 double crochets. That's 4 and 5. Okay, so now you should look something like this. So in order to turn, we're going to chain 7. Counts as 3 of them count as a double, and 4 are the chain 4. You're going to turn your work and come to the middle one, the middle of the 5, and put a single crochet. And chain 4 and come over to the middle of this one and put a single crochet. And chain 4 again to the middle of this cluster of 5 or shell. Put a single crochet and chain 4 and put a double crochet in the top of the chain 3 from the previous row. So we're going to chain 3, turn our work, and we're going to put 4 more double crochets right here in this same spot to give us a total of 5 because our chain 3 counted as a double crochet. So that makes 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to come straight to this chain 4 space and do a single. We're going to chain 4, come over to this empty spot, do a single, and then come straight into this single crochet with 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it down here into this chain 4 and make a single crochet. Chain 4. Come over here, do a single, and then into the third, 1, 2, 3. Third from the bottom on that chain 7. We're going to do 5 double crochets, all in the same space. It's 2, 3, 4 and 5. And I forgot to zoom in, sorry. All right, so we're going to chain 7. That's a single, and then chain 4. Turn our work, come to the top, the middle one, do a single crochet, chain 4, come over here and do a single crochet, chain 4, and in the middle we do a single crochet, chain 4, and over here do a single crochet, chain 4, and in the middle of this one we do a single crochet, chain 4, and then we end it with a double crochet in the top of our chain 3 from the previous row. Okay, so chain 3 counts as a double. Turn your work. And put 4 more double crochets in the same starting space to give us a total of 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. We come down here into the middle of our chain 4 space and do a single. We chain 4, come over to this chain 4 space and do a single, and come straight into this single crochet here and do 5 double crochets to form our shell. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come straight down to this chain 4 and do a single, chain 4, do a single crochet here in that chain 4 space, come down to this single and do 5 double crochets to form a shell. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We come straight down into this chain 4 space with a single. See, it fans it out. Chain 4. Come to our third chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Well, we're not coming to our third chain yet. We're going to do a single crochet into that chain 4 space and then come to our third chain and do 5 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so a couple of things to watch for. You see how we're getting wide versus, oops, long. Okay, so when you're doing your chain 4 rows, You'll always start off with a chain 7, which is 3 of those chains are a double crochet and 4 of them is the chain 4 space, and you'll connect it with a single crochet. When you're doing your shell stitch row, it's always chain up 3, and it's 5 double crochets in each spot that gets a shell. And you'll notice that they alternate. Like it's a shell, shells. There's no shell straight up until you get to a couple of rows later. So the next row of shells is going to be offset. So over here and then over here. If you find yourself when you're working on a row and that shell ends up right on top of it, somehow you got off. Stop what you're doing. Go back and figure out where it was at and rip it out and redo that part. I had to do that a couple of times with mine. So let's do one more row of the chains. So we have chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that counts as a chain 3, or excuse me, a double crochet and a chain 4. And we are going to do a single crochet in the middle stitch. You have 5, so you want it in the middle stitch, a single, and then chain 4. Come over to this chain 4 space and do a single, chain 4, and in the top of the shell, the middle stitch, do a single, chain 4, and in this chain 4 space, do a single, chain 4, in the middle, the top of the shell, or third stitch, however you want to call it, then chain 4 into this chain 4 space, do a single, chain 4, come over to the middle, it's 1, 2, 3, so it's right here, do a single, chain 4, and we end the row with a double crochet in the top of the chain 3 from the previous row. Okay, so when you do the row of shells, all right, first off, each row starts and ends with a double crochet or a chain 3. A chain 3 is counted as a double crochet, and that is usually the beginning of the row, and the end of the row is a double crochet. So the next row is a shell row, so we're going to chain 7, which 3 is a double crochet and 4 is our chain 4 space. So we have 1, 2, 3. I am sorry. That is not how you start the shell. The shell row. It is just plain old chain 3. I've got this previous row on the brain. And then we're going to do 4 double crochets in this same starting stitch to give us a total of 5 to form a shell. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come straight to our chain 4 space and do a single. We chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We jump over to this space, do a single, and then come straight down to this single crochet here from the previous row and do 5 double crochets to form your shell. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and straight into the chain 4 space with a single. It fans out our shell. Chain 4, come over to this chain 4 space and do a single, and then straight down to this one on the previous row. We do 5 doubles to form our shell. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5, and straight into our chain 4 space with a single to fan out that shell. Okay, and we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Come over here with a single, straight into this single crochet with our 5 doubles to form our shell. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Straight into the chain 4 space with a single. Chain 4, 3, 4, jump over here, do a single, and then in our third chain from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, so right there, we are going to do 5 double crochets to form a shell at the end of our row. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Okay. So, when you want to end, when you think you've made it big enough, you just keep following that same thing till you've made it as big as you want to make it. So when you get to the end, you can finish off where it has this shell edge, but I don't really myself care for it. So I finished off with the chain 4 spaces and then went all the way around the whole triangle with a single crochet, and then down these 2 angled sides with a shell stitch. Okay, so like this is the top, single crochet. Down my sides, it is a shell stitch. And in these, I did 7 double crochets. I'd do a single, skip 2, and in the third one, I did 7 double crochets, skip 2, and in the third one, a single, skip 2, 7 double crochets, skip 2, and then a single. And I just did that all the way around on both sides. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. See, I'm pretty sure I pulled them all out. I had messed up a couple of times where, okay, here we go, one I didn't fix. Because, I don't know, must have been being lazy. But right here, they should not line up like that. Unless that's what your intention is, but that was not my intention. It was supposed to be a shell, a chain 4, a shell. So somehow I got off track there and did not go back and correct it. But it's for me, so it's not a big deal. But that's what it would look like right here if you did it wrong. You want it to look like this. Shell, chain, shell, and it alternates. They don't stack up in a line for every single row. There's always a row in between. Anywho, that's it. That's what I have for you today. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you make one and enjoy it. They make great gifts. And once you get going, it gets easier as you get going, but if you have interruptions, take a look at where you're at so that you don't make the kind of mistake that I made. Anyhow, we'll see you on the next video.